Hi Pisces, you really are every woman, every man, every they, them. And welcome back to Southern Heaven, y'all. This is the most blessed and highly favored channel on YouTube. In case you haven't heard, I think you've heard by now, and I believe it. For Pisces, I believe it. But this is an eclipse portal reading. And the eclipse, we already had a solar eclipse, y'all, in Leo. And for Pisces, this was in, let's see, your first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth house. Because it's it's one house off the axis. So we're changing our thoughts, or we have already changed our thoughts a little bit about work and about how we see ourselves. The next eclipse is about how we see ourselves. And y'all, I mean, you can skip this. I'll leave the timestamps, but this is gonna be involved Pisces and single Pisces and money, career, and love. And it's all the seeds being planted in this eclipse portal, this little window between eclipses that's so sacred. That was in your sign of health too, Pisces. So I know some of y'all, my sixth house is Pisces, and I have a wrist thing going right now. So some of y'all just had health flare-ups. It's like all the kind of stuff in your day-to-day that needs to change. Oh, baby, it will. And Pisces, the thing is that y'all end up, we'll start with the channeled message and some of the astrology, but y'all end up adrift a lot because you love these fun little side quests. And we're gonna use Mermaid Tarot because Pisces. So clever. Look at the big thrills we get. Yeah, you guys end up adrift a lot because other people's currents kind of draw you in. And so even just knowing that you have a self, because the eclipse is happening right across from your Virgo 7th house. So even knowing that you have a self is new for the Pisces, because in a similar way to Gemini and Libra, signs that are very identified with another and balance off of other signs, Pisces is one that needs to know, okay, I have boundaries. My self ends here and another person starts there. So this eclipse in your first house is gonna let you know, okay, I have a self. Everything I think isn't what the person next to me is thinking, even if we get on really well. Everything I feel isn't what they're feeling, Pisces. You know, and you guys need to sometimes, I don't want to say be meaner, but a little bit, because that's how I mean, don't be cruel, but you have to identify where you end and another person begins. Even in your second house, you have Neptune, you have Saturn, like you're being hit with the reality of what it means to have resources and like what you actually have to do to keep them and maintain them. Chiron in the third house, so don't be afraid to say the difficult things, okay? In this little window. We have Mars in your fifth house. Oh, Gemini in your fourth house also. Oh no, Gemini. Yeah, Gemini in your fourth house, Uranus is there. So you might have something kind of flare up with your home situation also. Some of y'all could be moving. Some of y'all just like new roommates. Cancer's in the fifth house for you guys right now. So, I mean, you could be seeing like a huge surge of creativity. Some of y'all, if you're like, you'll see a surge of fertility, a surge of fertility, for anyone like trying to have a baby. And that sixth house stellium, I mean, that's going to tell you everything you need to know about work, subordinates. Some of y'all are going to get new pets, okay? But health issues will flare up so that you have to kind of address them. Same thing with like subordinates or just like people that answer to you. Those relationships are going to be tested so that like the waters can be calm. But it's a bit of a tempest, Pisces. It's kind of a tempest. Because we have your first house, we have your 10th house, and we have your fourth house, all kind of flared up from this eclipse. So it's yourself, your work, and your career. We also have Venus in your 8th house. So some of y'all like inheritance for something, or just like maybe you win some type of legal battle. It's death, debt, sex. Some of y'all like new sexual adventure. But yeah, you're gonna get something lovely is coming in that house. Maybe even like settlement that you win there. But that's, I mean, that's kind of positive energy. In your 11th house, you have the moon there. So, I mean, you might feel a little prickly about like your public kind of persona and perception at the moment. Or you might feel prickly, or you just might have like, okay, your emotions are in the spotlight right now. Which for a Pisces, I mean, you're used to that. You kind of lead with your emotions. But because the 11th house is ruled by Capricorn for you guys, that's not an emotional house. The moon doesn't love to be there. So there's a bit of dissonance. And I mean, even with like Pisces celebrities, you might see just like some stuff come out that is kind of secret or not so favorable. In the 12th house, you have Pluto. So some of y'all, again, it's like kind of mental health transformation. Some of y'all will go onto medications, or some of y'all, if you've been on them, you'll come off. And then the North Node is in the 12th house too. So just like that energy of just very psychic energy too. So some of y'all are gonna have prophetic dreams and visions. Let's see. Thanks so much for watching, y'all. I'm so happy I can do this for you. I'm really your personal psychic. This is just a screen between us, okay? But ask me whatever y'all want in the comments. Let me know what other situations you want me to read on. Okay, so this is Pisces. The beginning of your story for love. For taken Pisces. So this is if you're involved with somebody, and this is what's manifesting in the eclipse portal. So King of Pentacles, I mean, more stability in the current situation you're in than you've probably ever had, honestly. Yeah, the inheritance thing too, with your 10 of Pentacles. Maybe something too with your dad. You might get money from like a father figure, and it's money you likely like needed. You or your partner will inherit something. But also with the 10 of Pentacles, this has been coming up for a lot of people. I know it's because the same 3 fools watch all my readings. One of them being me. But I don't know, y'all. More serious. We've been seeing this with a lot of stuff. I think that's because eclipses, they're very much a fork in the road. You're in or you're out. So things that are working work better. Things that aren't working kind of fall apart, no matter how much you try to make them work. But with the 10 of Pentacles, this is like, okay, someone's wanting to see more commitment. They're wanting to commit to you more, give you more stability. But they're also kind of somebody that like, they don't necessarily isolate you, but they want to go on a trip, maybe just the 2 of you. And they don't necessarily like to hang out with your friends, this person I am hearing, because they feel like you can't really be yourselves unless it's just the 2 of you guys, which is a little bit taxing because the Pisces also loves to socialize. You know, even though Pisces can be to themselves very psychic and kind of like deep little emo kids, they do like to socialize and party and go to the function. But sometimes whoever this is, I think that you're seeing isn't always having that. And it wears on you a little bit, Pisces. But still, they're going to want to go on a trip with you one-on-one. Maybe even in September, Virgo season with the Hermit. Yeah, September trip. And they might ask you a very serious question. With the 2 of Wands too, that's planning. So they're planning this now. They're planning engagement or something a little more serious. I think it's just that time of year, y'all. I don't know what it is. And you see the King of Pentacles. It's different in every deck. And I haven't used this mermaid deck in a while. But the King of Pentacles, you see that little coin. His coin's a ring. So it's different. It like really does point to engagement. Can we see the outcome, y'all? I mean, this is overall positive. Just don't isolate yourself too much. Pisces, what's the outcome for this love situation? Ooh. The Emperor. Oh, they're taking the lead in your life, and you have the Aries in your second house. So it could also be like, I want to move in together, I want to get married, something kind of serious. This was in Gemini also, so you could be with the Gemini. But yeah, they want to lead, they want to like lead actions into like a good life with you. And they see your value. So you'll be seen committing to this. You'll be happy because they see your talents. It's kind of a fork in the road with that. Back of the deck, judgment. This person isn't very judgmental of you. They kind of accept you for like who you are, how you are. And when you guys are alone, they feel like themselves. But I think one of the biggest hurdles for you guys is that when you guys hang out in a group, you all don't feel the most represented. I don't know why I'm getting that. But you'll feel very led. I'm hearing Pisces is craving being led, either leading or being led, depending on who you're watching or how you're watching for. But they want to lead you into that, and they want to lead you into somewhere, a relationship where your value really shines. So this is something positive, but they do still feel kind of self-isolating. I don't know, two of those things are existing at once. Let's talk to Miss Pisces single. Miss Girl, put your pussy in it, Pisces single. Can we put our whole pussy into August eclipse portal? That's do you call your pussy the eclipse portal? Is that her name? What do we have for our singles? Oh, okay, Queen of Cups. Not her having this little grand. Oh, she's cute. And the Six of Swords. Oh, you're working on, see, this is your energy, Miss Pisces. You're working on yourself. And maybe there's something to do with an air sign also, like we already talked about. But you're getting emotionally mature. You're going deep with yourself, and you're in better mental health than you've been. Maybe you already had that breakdown that the Aquarius 12th house told us about. Maybe you already had that Pluto in the 12th house breakdown, and that North Node 12th house. Like, things have culminated. You thought every bad thought, you threw every bad thing out, but now you feel emotionally mature because you're like, I don't need to tear somebody down. I feel the way that I feel, and that's it. And now that Six of Swords is putting you into an easier way of your relationships. And why do I say this? Because, well, first of all, you're represented in this Queen of Cups energy, but also because it starts with the self. You know, all of that. Especially with a Pisces, like yourself is the water that you swim in. And you're a little more pleased with yourself than maybe you've ever been, Pisces, okay? So you're getting into easier waters relationship-wise. Let's see, but congratulations on that. Let's see, what do we have coming towards the Pisces singles in this like emotionally mature, kind of available state? Might be something kind of long distance. I love when the cards are like little jumping jacks. Oh, okay. Some of y'all might be involved with a little Miss Fire sign. You might meet somebody on vacation, and somebody's planning to come towards you. They watch you. They've seen you kind of like go from being maybe someone a little more stressed to getting this easy way about you. Some of y'all, like, SeaWorld is in the theme too, but they're watching you. And the Queen of Cups also, I mean, that's an indication of like long distance. So some of y'all, like, they have had a crush on you for a minute. Maybe they swiped you on the app, haven't messaged yet, but they're planning to come towards you at the moment. Are they gonna come towards them? They're at least planning within the span of this eclipse portal. Does Pisces know this person? Does Pisces know this person? Okay, yeah, you might work with them. Or it could be like your crush. Like, this is someone that you're like, okay, if I could have my way, I would have this person. Which is kind of real. Ooh, they could also be a Capricorn. Or they could be a Capricorn with the Devil card. They could be involved. Or they could be somebody who it's just like, dun, dun, dun. I don't know how else to say it. Like, if your friends, if you talk to your friends about this person, they're like, no, like, not him, not her. With the Devil card, like, it's somebody maybe a little sneaky, but they're like fun sneaky. So do with that what you will. But with the Two of Pentacles also, you or them is kind of also juggling people. So know that. Like, or when we ask, because this came out when we asked about, okay, do you know them already? This could be like, okay, well, you know them from around the block. You know them from around the way. There's a familiarity there. You know them from like the grocery store or whatever. Yeah, what's the outcome? This is fun. This outcome for Miss Pisces, or Mr. Pisces, or they, them Pisces. I don't know, you're serving fish either way. Oh, what's the outcome if they let this person in, this familiar little lurker? Thank you so much, Spirit. Y'all remember to watch your other placements and send along to your besties. Ooh, the Sun and the Three of Cups. Okay, so very fun. Very fun. Letting this person in, but you might see A, that they're involved, or B, like if you get involved with them, it's possible like you guys may conceive even. I know that sounds wild, but like there's like third party kind of conception here with the Three of Cups and the Sun. So be careful with that, little Miss Pisces, but it's also like childlike and celebratory energy. So it's like yes and. Like they're planning to come towards you. There's positive things, but the light will shine on it. So anything kind of impure will show about the connection. And so you need to proceed with the information that you know. I'm being directed to take from the top. Okay, Nine of Swords. Exactly. An Eight of Wands. Okay, yeah, so it's like, yes, girl, go ahead. Like, you don't stress yourself out about it, but value yourself, put your values kind of first. You know, yeah, but it's someone you know, and they'll come towards you in a real way. You just have to assess, like, okay, there's other stuff that they might have going on that they need to seal the deal on. And as long as you lead with your value, because you do, like, Spirit doesn't want you to avoid this. They just want you to proceed with discernment and use your boundaries, because that's exactly what you're being directed to do with this Pisces eclipse. You're growing a spine, Miss Pisces. You know, you're growing a spine, you're growing a sense of self, and you can do the things you want to do with class and not be afraid that you can't do it. Because all that psychic Aquarius energy, because that's really what this is. This is that Pluto in your 12th house Aquarius, okay, with those swords. So it's like you're driving yourself insane with the self-doubt and the things that you psychically know, but you gotta dive in and trust yourself. That's what it's about, because that eclipse is allowing yourself to be formed and to be trusted, okay? I think it's time for career. That was good. Thank you, Spirit. What do we have for career for little Miss Pisces? And don't forget, I mean, this was the last eclipse was in your work house. So in the Leo house. Yeah, so there's a lot of energy there. There's change either way. Change in your work communications. What's happening with this eclipse portal? Okay. Seven of Wands. Okay, so the Leo house is there. The Leo house checking in. All that Jupiter energy. You might kind of feel backed up against the wall in your work environment. There's like, you feel like you have to defend yourself maybe a little bit more than you would like to. okay? And there's a lot of heat there. A lot of heat, and I think there's just like the necessary conflict kind of culminates. Can we have more on that Seven of Wands? That's the thing though, Pisces. It's not even about like whether or not the conflict goes your way. It's the fact that you showed up and stated what you needed to and listened and moved on. It's the structure. You know, you're being challenged to have structure, show up every day. That's all work is showing up every day. What do we have for work for this Pisces? Great. Four of Swords. Exactly. Don't stress. And Three of Pentacles. See? Your work and your worth. That's been a big theme for a couple of these readings. And you have Saturn and Neptune transiting the second house. So there's a lot of activity in the house of value too, which is another fire-led house. You might feel like you're fighting for those resources as well. But you can be calm. You know, this Four of Swords, the universe wants you to relax. And the Three of Pentacles, like you see all these little fairies, you surrender it to that kind of higher power. But your talents are seen. And if you stick up for yourself, your talents will be seen. That's the interesting thing about work conflicts too, is that, or really any conflicts, but just because we're talking money and career, you don't really know. All you can do is stick up for what's true. And that's another thing with this eclipse is truth. And Pisces can be a sign of truth, either swimming towards it or swimming away from it, right? And so the truth, like all you can do is stick up for that truth and rest in it. Because yes, you have to stick up for yourself, but after that, it's like, the universe takes care of the rest, and it'll always show in the end, your talent and your work. I mean, thinking of like your Frida Kahlos and your Vincent van Goghs, like people who were undervalued in their time, who are now considered like some of the best, just because there wasn't anything around to comprehend them. And I see that with this lotus flower too, like some of what you're doing, Pisces, kind of transcends now, maybe your lifetime, maybe multiple lifetimes, who knows, but it definitely transcends now. And don't feel bad about that. That's another way that Pisces sometimes feel kind of awkward, because they're just complex souls that have every kind of color mixed. It's similar to this thing, this like 7 chakras, like oil. You know, it's like the idea of all 7 chakras, the rainbow. That's what Pisces is energetically. So you're not really gonna be understood. You just gotta go into the unknown with all these lotus flowers. Oh, I'm being told to take from the top. Yeah, with the High Priestess, you gotta just follow your intuition. Exactly. Go into the unknown, and that's it. And give it up to the higher power. And the Six of Cups. That's kind of familiarity. I mean, think about even what you wanted when you were so little, Pisces. And this is more of your energy too, with Cups. And even with the High Priestess, sometimes that's Cancer, but usually it's either Cancer or Pisces, water, intuition, energy. But there's just something that you used to do when you were a kid, whether it's that state of mind or the exact activity you used to do, that like, you're clutching that back in this eclipse portal, and it'll be a part of your work and your value earning story. And that matches with the fact that you have an Aries second house, because Aries is the sign, you know, it's the childlike sign. It's the first sign of the zodiac. So whatever you were doing when you're little is gonna make you a surprising amount of moolah now. Let's go to luck. Thank you, Spirit. If y'all are still watching, thank you so much. Pisces. Let's do your luck reading. Let's just get one card on how our Pisces are gonna get lucky from this eclipse portal. Okay, it already fell out. 7 of Cups. When it rains, it pours, Pisces. There's gonna be an insane amount of opportunities